as I was sat with him, he went, "Would you like £100 now as well?" I was like, "No, mate, I'm not homeless. I'm just sat with my mate. I'm living in, what do you call this? A residential works training program."
What is it? We're a hostel with a support centre. No.
Supported living.
That's it.
Nothing, any tension that might exist there. Begin and end with shoulders back and down. So soften that up. And then you go back down. Yeah, that's fine. And then back down. So now you got on shoulders, elbows, and wrists. If you lay down onto the floor then, please.
Get off, we're trying to do something.
Exhale, go. Right, stop taking the piss, please. This is quite important. What you want to do? And now you're doing, you're breathing in again until your ribcage expand, and then you're going to go shh, shh, shh.
Guys, help to strengthen the breathing muscles. Lay straight with one hand on the side of your ribcage, the other side.
So what am I doing now?
Breathe in. Hold for 3 seconds, so as much as you can for 3 seconds, and then release slowly. And then repeat with 3. Next, try blowing out a candle, this time with a sound. Do this 3 times.
Don't get them, give me the links.
C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L.
That's it. But that's quite good, isn't it? Where'd you get that from?
I bought it.
That's nice.
Is your hand up or do you just hold it wood?
Yeah, my hand up.
Because it's inappropriate for you to hold your wood.
I haven't shoplifted in 8 months. Yes, I shall be starting my video shoot for this lovely student, Preston. So yeah, I'm hoping to capture a few good moments out of Amber. So yeah. No, this is my personal project. I've been through a lot, so this is basically a mask. And what it signifies is I put on a mask. It signifies I'm hiding a lot behind the mask I put, the front I put on. So.
Did he just do all that because I'm here?
Yeah. Obviously. Same with you. The same with Santos. I mean,Ve known Santos for a while now.
Yeah.
Having like our last day together before I came here, and then finally 2 and a bit months later, Santos came. I think we were
destined.
It was. I was in the dining room having lunch, and all I see is Santos's face round the corner, and all I Santos!
Yes,
screaming it out, and he looked over, look at the sort of two of us, and you thought they're fucking nuts, but hey, I bet they're having fun.
Yesterday I experienced something that was really scary for me, because you know, a certain person ended up, you know, crying and stuff, and me being there for that person made me feel so good inside. Like, the words are unbelievable. I can't express to you how I felt. Yeah, I really can't, because when I was there crying, I had no one there for me, because I am the type of person to bottle everything up. Well, not one was it escaping me from reality, but when I started to get into like worse drugs, you know, I was kind of hoping that, you know what I mean, someone from my family would be like, you know what, yeah, you need this. And the fact is, you know, what's really sad about it is when it did happen, and I managed to tell my dad, look, Dad, I've been doing meth, I've been doing coke, and this is at the age of 17, and I started at the age of 14. you know, and he goes, look, okay, I'm sending it to your uncles. The worst thing about it is by then it's too late. Yeah, brotherhood is one of the biggest things you need when you're homeless and when you're going through, you know what I mean?
Stick together.
Brotherhood and family.
Yeah, I'd say that.
That's me though, bro. I need to go play some pool, do something good, because I'm going to get into my deep down motion. I don't want that.
Constant. So like people be sitting there, and because they smoke weed, they don't know what it's like to be an alcoholic. So they'll sit there and say like, oh fucking, oh George, yeah, like, oh that's for you, yeah, like when there's like a drink advert comes on, silly shit like that. And it's like a couple of years back, I'd have made a big deal out of it. It's like, but now I've learned to humble myself, kind of thing, because people do put their foot in their mouth. I do it quite a lot, and I don't mean to. But my ex, my like with me, the worst thing is that she's talking to me, but she's not talking as if there's any chance of us getting back together. So it's like, well, why talk to me then? And my problem is I'm a hopeless romantic. I always have been. That's why now looking back here, everything she did for me was out of love. And it's hard to love someone who doesn't love their self, do you know what I mean? And days like today, obviously you wasn't here yesterday, but yesterday, those are the days where when I'm up, I'm up. When I'm down, I'm fucking down, do you know what I mean? Like, because when I woke up today, I weren't feeling it at all. I didn't care what deep clean they gave me, whatever. I was staying in bed. I knew it was. But then I got to midday and I thought, what's the point, man? And I noticed that as well, because when I come downstairs, the staff weren't even really on to me that much more. They were more, are you okay, kind of thing. And the positive part of me likes that. The devious part of me knows I can use that to my advantage. And that's the thing I battle every day, is just being a good person. Do you know what I mean? Some people have it naturally. Some people have to fight to be a good person.
No, just click it. Can't believe we managed to rob that Preston guy for this camera.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It wasn't that hard actually.
Did you? No,
yeah.
To be fair, yeah. Like,
once we just like broke a finger or two, like he generally just kind of gave it up.
Can you take this stuff out to the van? Yes, of course I can, mate.
Yeah, 1 second.
Straight in my pocket. Went down cash convert. It's only worth £4. Got great grades, A's and stuff like that. I went over to New Zealand, worked in Auckland Zoo. Went to Thailand and Belize and went travelling. And I come back and went to uni and done a national diploma in exotic animal management. I was on a rent to buy with my dad on a house. And so I had a 5-bedroom house, and then I would rent out the rooms. 3 years into the rent to buy, my dad got a new girlfriend, and he needed to buy her ex-husband out of the house that she was in. So one of the guys I was working with said they had a spare room. When I was asleep, they put spice in my mouth and MCAT under my nose, punched me in the stomach, done that, and obviously I've gone, took everything in. I was like, oh shit, I feel wavy, and I was like, yeah, I'll come join the party. And then the party just never stopped for like 130 odd days. And we come back and the house was all locked up. The landlord had had enough. My disorder's called narcissistic altruism. It's called Robin Hood disorder. It will probably start that I'll see people that are in need, and I'll probably move a homeless person into my flat or whatever and try and help them out, and that's how it always gets buggered up. It's more, this is as a distraction rather than as anything else. But it's quite good for like all the people that have got like fidgeting things like ADHD or something like that use the fidget spinners and stuff. They find this quite good as well. Yeah, that's how the swan goes. And that's like the most basic thing to make. That's why I just built it quick.
Unfortunately, because I've done some terrible things, I can't join the army for another 3.5 years. So at the age of 16, I decided to run away from home, then got into drugs. First started off with MCAT, which is another name for methadone. One of my mates, one of my best mates to be fair, I asked him to come out and everything, like he wasn't allowed out. I was begging his mum and everything, and then we was in this room. He didn't want to do it at first. I gave him a gram bomb, which means putting the drugs into the Rizla and swallowing it. He then swallowed it. I swallowed it. Half an hour later, we didn't realise we thought it wasn't working, so we did another gram bomb at the same time. As soon as I took the gram bomb, we're coming up now. He's gone into the bathroom and unfortunately he collapsed into my arms and didn't make it through. He overdosed. So unfortunately he died that night. and this was 2015, Christmas Day to be fair. After that, I just went worse and worse and worse, trying to find any drug, any under the sun to numb the pain, if you know what I mean. Didn't think I could do it. I've always thought I can't be happy unless I smoke a joint or something, or have a hit or something. I couldn't. Now I'm at Amber, I'm actually learning how to be myself, live another life. I've never really have had a smile on my face. I suffer with post-traumatic stress, like that's something huge, like, that's not something little. I have to see something I don't want to see every single day of my life, like. I didn't like myself. Like, didn't like doing crime, I didn't like doing it, but I felt like I had to because of drugs. Like, having an addiction is it's like a disease, and the only cure the cure for the disease is yourself, the way you think. I did something to someone that and took their life pretty much. That's what I feel like. Everybody says it's not your fault, but how can I share that pain, knowing that you've given someone drugs when they didn't want to do it in the first place? You persuaded them, and then them dying. Their mum every time his mum comes and sees me, she starts crying into tears. Like, it's actually accepting you need help. Now I'm kind of following him, if you know what I mean. Starting to read my Bible every day. I pray. I go to church. I've just set up an event where young lads go who don't know much about Christianity, and they can understand it. It doesn't drill it into them. It goes through it subtly, so people that might not understand will understand it. I was about to jump out of the blue. I don't know how, and I don't understand this to this day. A police officer grabbed hold of me and pulled me back. I should be dead, mate. Like, you don't understand. I've come here and I've realised, like, I've looked back on my life, and I think, why aren't I dead? I'm thinking that, like, God actually has got his love around me, if you know what I mean. He wants me to do good. I'm not finished here yet.
Does that how our homeless people stay warm?
What? Scoop? I feel like Gavin and no, the royal family. I'm the blonde bird and you're the sun.
What?
This is what I have to do today, so. It's Saturday. I've got my family coming to see me tomorrow. What else is happening? We're playing Manhunt later on. So Preston. Manhunt should be a good game to clear my mind. Quite a lot going on. Quite a lot. Mishaps. Obviously found out my dad's a bit poorly. But he ain't replied to me for like the last 2 days. I think it's probably because he doesn't want to drive all the way down here. My sister flew out to Portugal 2 days ago to go see my granddad because he's got cancer, he's in hospital. So those are my mishaps. Other than that, I've had quite a lot of progressiveness. Like, I've managed to keep my demon nice and calm. So yeah, Preston, it's been okay.
One, two, three, 2, 1, yeah.
If for anything, it taught me that I need to be at Amber for a bit longer than I thought, because I did drink, so technically, but I wasn't even going to count that as a relapse. I read something the other night. It was saying women become women gradually, and when they do, they don't ever really change, whereas men, we become intoxicated by, what's the word, prosperity. And what I mean by that is men learn and grow best from pain, from experience, as opposed to, because when we actually do something correct, we become a little bit, do you know what I mean? It's like, right, I've done that now, I can do this, I can carry on doing that. So when I was sitting there turning down shots, I was sitting there thinking, I've got this, I've literally got this, and it just didn't go that way, man. Someone very close to me said something about me, which wasn't true, and I had to go through a year of it. And that broke me, man, for a while. Like, that really did. I didn't know how to deal with it, man. I had a girlfriend at the time, and obviously, think police action was taken. We went to the police ourselves. There was nothing ever built of it. There wasn't ever a case. It eventually came to light that the person was lying, and everything was dropped. I was free to get on with my life, except I kind of didn't. Kind of thing. I had a really big sort of fuck you attitude to the world after that, and I never put two and two together until I went to a homeless shelter, and the lady actually said, I think we need to stop this interview, because they was doing my assessment, so I think we need to stop this interview and get you some help, like, you're really shaking. I wasn't even going to stay. I was a bit ashamed of myself because I was still drinking, and she tried really hard to help me. And but I did. I thought, you know what, just actually fucking do it for once. Just go bring these people that they say, pardon me, even if Amber turns out to be just a real woman called Amber and she's a therapist, maybe actually just talk to her, like, do something. Technically, I drank 4 half bottles, so technically 2 bottles of vodka. Then when that wore off, I went and put my Oyster card in, you get a £5 for that. I bought a 3-litre bottle of White Ace, and then like cans of the really strong beers as well, like 8% ones, because I knew the shakes were coming. And this was all after I'd been accepted into Amber, do you know what I mean? I knew something good was coming my way, but I was also terrified. The fear of being scared, of never being able to drink again, because that brings on a lot of feelings of like low self-esteem, do you know what I mean? Because you sit there and think, well, this is your chance, and they've given it to you. They've quite happily accepted you. Why? I mean, it's hard to sit there as a man, and it's just something women, I think, in general, just won't ever grasp. A lot of young men who end up in prison, do you know what I mean? They end up sitting there and think, oh, well, I'm not a man, so fuck it, I'll just be whatever. And then, or a lesser melodramatic example, people that end up on the dole for a very long time. It's very demasculating, do you know what I mean? It's like, you might as well sell drugs. And because I think I said to you before, I don't think I'm an alcoholic, I think I'm an addict. Like, I think it would, and so I'm very fortunate in that aspect, because it could have been something like Coke, where I know a lot of boys who go out robbing to support that. Whereas alcohol, you can be an alcoholic on the dole, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not hard.
Give me the thumbs up. Right, this is part 2 of my day 1, doing my journal. Had a really deep conversation with a mate called Keith. Got to maybe know him a bit more, so it's kind of put me in a better mood, if you know what I mean. Bringing us together a bit more. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Still got my community service to do. I'm probably going to be jet spraying the AstroTurf, so that'll be good. So I can get the guys from the football team, get them playing on the AstroTurf instead of the grass. So yeah, looking forward to tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow will be a productive day. Over and out.
Because bipolar, you can last weeks on a depression run, and then the PTSD just makes you paranoid. I mean, every time I close my eyes, the situation that happened between me and my old man, it's just there in my eyes again, in my head. As soon as you get your own father try and actually hurt you, seriously hurt you, it changes your life completely. And having the mental health team, I've tried to call 6 times in the last 2 days. They're just not cooperating. And I'm sorry, but I mean, I've harmed myself. I've cut myself, I've burnt myself. I've got self-control, but I've got no love for anyone. I've always got, the only thing I've got is hate and depression and everything else. And sometimes I just feel like I just don't care. And that hurts me even more. It really does. but the only person that I feel can motivate me even to do it even more, to help myself, is my little brother. Having the support I need can help me move on, but not having it just makes me feel shit.
And then he's like, well, you're not going to say nothing. He's like, you do know, yeah, the whole time you've been talking your bollocks, bruv, my dog's been pissing on your leg, innit? And then and the dog's piss, and he goes, oh, you little shit. And like, and he goes to like do the laser vision on him, innit? And he goes, touch my dog, and it starts right now, like right here. And when I first come here and I was withdrawing hard, bruv, that's all I used to do, sit in my room and just read that. His storylines are fucked up, but they're very existential. Like the shit he talks about and stuff, like he's clever. He's a very clever man.
I'm a giant unicorn.
Oh, hey!
I'm so pleased it was that and not the opposite.
20 seconds.
You're a fat unicorn.
At least you get unicorns.
Social media, should it be regulated? We are against. Social media outlets should not have to monitor what is essentially the parent's job. We believe that social media, to a certain extent, is already heavily regulated. We are the generation, I feel, the say 17 to 25-year-olds who had the internet heavily incorporated into our lives. And because of it, certain things in my life are now different. I knew about sex from a much younger age than I probably should have. Another point that we wanted to put across is that due to social engineering, young teenagers seek a lot of validation. Because obviously things like actual physical things in your hand are much easier to tell. Whereas things like validation is a tricky one, because you've got a lot of teenagers who are probably not actually sexual or wanting anything to come of it, but know that she's not that pretty, so she puts a picture up with skin showing. Our strongest argument for this is that it is down to parental discretion. Your child can enjoy both the finer points of social media and be safe from the worser points. But when I do go online, I love film and media and stuff, so I'm always reading about films and the new films coming out, how they make films and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like genuinely, I wouldn't go so far as to say I've self-educated myself, because I'm at a very low level of education. I've not even done A-levels. So, but I feel like if I was to chuck myself into an A-level course, just from the years of reading and gathering things off the internet, I feel like I could flourish in it. Like
being born again just means you're being born again but starting a new life in Jesus Christ.
Those born again Christians are nutters.
No, plain and simple. I'm born again.
Like, I had other residents actually come up to me and shook my hand and say, thank you, Dan, because I said, thank you guys for coming. It was like, nah, thank you for letting us come, if you know what I mean. We had such a good time. Like, I was trying to hitchhike, for instance. Everybody was like, give up. I was like, no, we will get a lift. We will get a lift. What did we do? There was a taxi just pulling out of this driveway, literally where we was. I was like, knocked on his window. I was like, can you just give us a lift, please? Like, I've got 20 quid in my pocket. What did he do? Gave us a lift. Faithful gets you through things, if you know what I mean. Seeing the things you can't see, but having the faith to see the things, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense? Like you see in the walls, for instance. I've got one there, say, wake up every morning with the thought that something wonderful is going to happen. That's faith right there. Like. I've had to, this week, I had to say about a speech about my life, and just bringing that back up, if you know what I mean, it's getting hard.
Does it hurt more when you talk about it?
Yeah, and they say the only way you can heal is by talking. Crystal said she's got an idea that helps her write things down that gets off her mind, because once she's seen it on a piece of paper, it's like, okay, it clears. So I thought I'd come up with an idea, start a journal, if you know what I mean, into my day-to-day life. My girlfriend's now like actually really proud of me. I'm seeing her on the weekend. Her family's welcoming me in. It's nice to be welcomed. I'm not used to being welcomed, if you know what I mean. All you'd hear, I lived in flats as well, so all you hear is just like screaming kids, kids running around, mums shouting at their kids, the cars and all that. You come up here like, can you hear that? Silence. Had a brilliant weekend, it was an amazing weekend. Come back, drugs tests all negative, so it was really good. So now staff probably trust me a bit more, because I had Nikki call me, I had my probation call me, worried about me. It was really good. Spent time with my girlfriend. We're now official, so it's all good.
I'm taking care of your camera, don't worry. I've only, you know, videoed about 4 pawns at the moment.
Ultimately, I guess it don't matter what they write.
I'll zoom right into your face. You loved it. Oh, so do I. They're very nice donuts. God, I said hello.
Turn that fucking thing off.
Oh, I just ain't been able to sleep the last 2 days. My granddad passed away on, I think it was Sunday. Yeah, I found out he passed away, and yeah, it's been hard for me to deal with it. So yeah, and then I found out worse news yesterday, which was his funeral was actually meant to be today. So my sister and my dad flew out yesterday. Yeah, but obviously I won't be able to go. At least she'll be there for me, and you know what I mean. Yeah, it's life. At the age of like 3 or 4, my dad broke up with my mum, and she hit the bottle and other drugs. So I remember being like 3, 4 years old, and I was living in a flat my dad bought for her. And she had a mate, Angela, who she used to go see quite a lot. And what happened was this lady took me in for 6 months, and then after 6 months of me living with this lady, she took me all the way down to the south of Portugal, which was the Algarve, to my dad. And yeah, ever since like literally I lived with my dad, things did get better for me, but there was still that emptiness rather than how my mum. And going through school and everyone going, yeah, my mum's coming to pick me up. My mum bought me this for my birthday when I was only, you know what I mean, getting attention from my dad. And I think it was just like where I always had that empty hole, made me feel like a bit lonely. You know, even though I had my dad, my sisters with me, my stepmom was just like a complete bad person. Like, she never gave me a hug since I've been about 6. So it's always been like a really dark hole I've had inside of me. So that made me really angry against the world. Even till now, well, I'm 22 now, and I reckon like, I'm in such a bad place because I might need counselling. There's a lot of things that have happened to me as a child that, yeah, it's been really hard for me. That is the last thing I want him to see, is like, you know what I mean, a picture of my mum in me. Because he's always said to me, I've never been able to, you know, put faith into you and stuff like that because you've always been a very angry person. And funnily enough, that anger is what makes me such a passionate person right now, because I've transactioned the anger into passion and ambition. You know what I mean? He did kick me out when I was 16, he kicked me out again when I was 20. But it's always there to make me a stronger person. I think what he wanted to do is make me live in reality for a bit, realise like what I've had, what I can get, and what it's like if I, do you know what I mean, if I lose control and if I go down the wrong hill. And he's definitely done that. Yeah, he's definitely done that. And it works both ways if you've got this and that in this, and a bit of both. Like Hovis. Do I entertain you sometimes? You must admit.
A little bit.
A little bit. I think I've got potential to, you know, to become someone, you know, like someone.
Dan Yankovic.
Morning, Nicky.
Morning.
I think you did. Are you staying in bed, Connor?
I'm ungated again from the last time, and I got backdated by the job centre. I've got like £700 because I'm stupid. As soon as I get money, I go fucking house, Rome, lease, which is better than Breaking Bad. I don't give a shit what anyone says. The Road, The Enemy, and Skag Boys, and that's why I bought loads of shit because if I ain't got no money, then you know I can't spend it on alcohol. Starts at 11, it ends at 5 in the morning, right? So, and I don't want to do drugs because then drugs stay in your system. Then I'll get my second warning while I'm here. I don't want that. And that's not gonna look good, is it? I already said it. Like me and him, Brighton, B&B, we're getting 1 bedroom because we're cheap.
What? Your hair. No, it's not thick enough yet. What? It's not thick. I've tried to, do you see that? Too early in the morning I've tried to put a fucking shoe on without my sock.
At least you've done that in your own gap.
Yeah.
wake up in someone else's gaff trying to put their shoe on.
So yeah, this will basically excel the performance. It's max.
No, Santos, we all know you're going to stick it up your arse.
Listen, I was planning on sticking out yours, but it's not going to work.
Mine? Fucking hell, you'd lose that fucking thing up my arse.
Slip and fucking arm
George, just because you've had that dream.
It's not a dream, mate.
Due to my bipolar and whatnot, and my depression there, I'm on aripiprazole for an antipsychotic. Due to me hearing voices, so they've all fucked off now. I'm going to be having a normal-ish sort of start in life.
It says here, using the definition you wrote down earlier, write down at least 2 differences between a fixed and variable expense.
Okay, so what is a fixed and variable expense? Your electric and gas, for instance, and your food budget will change. Do you want me to break it down for you?
Yes, please.
Okay, so a fixed expenditure.
Discuss with your worker and then demonstrate you know which debts are priority and which are not.
So what's a priority debt to you, Dan?
So rent.
Yep, that's a great example.
With me, if I had £1,000 in my hand, I would go spend that. And now that I've actually looked at all of this, I'm thinking, I can't actually be spending all of that grand.
That's not even all of it
And
as well.
that's not even all
but
of it.
actually, these are the parts of Amber you need to be taken away with you. So when you then go into accommodation, you are learning how to manage your money so you don't get yourself back in this kind of vicious circle.
I like this piece here.
I'm pleased you've taken something from it. Yes, Jay.
Crikey, can you see that fox over there? Let's see if we can get close. Come on, George. This is the type of shit we'd eat while on the road.
Yeah.
Don't know why I've still got an Australian accent. You were my neighbour, I didn't even realise. Yeah, I've slept in one of these before, actually. I actually have.
Have you? If you're really sad one day, take a fuckload of MDMA and walk to a beach. It doesn't matter if you're not within walking distance of a beach, because if you take enough MDMA, you are always within walking distance of a beach.
I'm going to finish doing the triangle, teaching them how to build the models, and then he wants us to build a bivvy around the fire pit. It's like before tents, before like the plastic tents and stuff, we built them all out of wood. It's a survival thing, but I used to live in one when I was homeless. Maybe the end of the week we have a bonfire, start it all with fire bow, so don't use any matches or lighter and stuff. Proper end of the world survival days. Now I've got to go do origami.
I love waking up, knowing God gave me another chance, whacking that play button and having a little dance. Above my mistakes is the core college. The complexion of my movements left me a certain stance.
But so this would be like a 40 SMG, so it's thinner. Yeah, separate 45. Towards you is reversed, away from you is regular or normal. I'm like £800 short of moving out now than what I expected to be. But I've messaged my dad to see if it, like £2 to move into a flat is expensive.
It's not I'm not going to trust a barber like in Horsham, but I don't know any other barber. So if I want to get my hair cut, I've got to go all the way back to Camden. And Anton was offering it, so I thought, bollocks, just take it all off. Yeah. Now I look like Phil Mitchell, apparently. And I accept that. Phil is a boss.
Right, 1 second, let me put my trousers up. I'm back into business now. I do love the camera, I must admit. It's rather wonderful, isn't it? I do stop talking when it's a hot summer's day and I'm just chilling, you know. If it's winter, then I'm very depressed, so you've got to talk in order to get things out of your chest, you know. You know what I mean? Do you, Preston? Well, Preston, you're not replying, mate. Preston. I'm not just talking to an object, am I? I'm not talking to the wall, am I? The greatest apologies, Preston, but this is a bit of comedy. So, yeah, Preston, can you please state to me how was your day today so far? How do you feel while I'm interviewing you now? And you know, when I do become famous, don't you worry, Anton will be taking care of you. Him and me, we're dance buggies, mate. We will go in there, catch women, milfs, gilfs, you name it. We could probably get blokes. Just saying. That's how it goes. And they say I'm a drama queen. Does it look like I've got a V? I got P. Alright? I'm a drummer king. King. So Ollie's talking to me, why am I high right now? Okay, it's called negative energy. If you can convert the negative into positive, a bit like a battery.
Is he talking straight to the camera?
Yeah, but he's not recording. Stop lying. Yeah, no, he's going to keep this, so then later on he gets a giggle. Maybe show your girlfriend, you know, she might laugh at this a lot more than in-betweeners. It depends if you're in-betweener.
Come on, put a smile on that beautiful face.
You are funnier than me. Beautiful.
Anyone can be funnier than you, bro.
I know. That's the whole point of being funny.
Hi, John. I'm not sure. Thanks, John. Hi, Dean. Thanks, Dean.
Hi, I'm Crystal.
Hi, Crystal.
I have some news. My Amber journey is coming to an end. I gave my notice in this morning. I'm on the move, guys. So I am relocating with my whole family and we're moving up north. So obviously Amber is not going to be a possibility for me anymore. Thanks, Crystal.
Thanks, Crystal.
No, thank you, Crystal.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not really disruptive for them in that respect at all. So it's just like a big adventure. They're little, it's exciting.
The majority of people that try and help, and it's because of religion.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of... I've always met a lot of people who... I think they find if they do enough good, something good's going to happen to them. What they call altruistic niceness.
I've got narcissistic altruism. Don't talk to me about altruism.
Wankers, basically.
Mine's called Robin Hood.
My name is John Santos. Okay, I don't really know why I said John Santos. It's John Felipe Ivoris Santos. Do you ever get a feeling where sometimes you're just feeling a little bit lost in life? Like, where the fuck am I? Who are you? And then all of a sudden, you're back into reality and you're just like, rah, I've been here all my life.
Variety is the spice of life, yeah. Variety is the spice of life, yeah. Guten Tag.
It's like a voice for me. I'm literally a vinaigrette addict. I have it on literally nearly every meal. But it tastes good.
And today evening we've got Preston in the building.
I want a bit of woman, a bit of shrimp. Because you know, they like shrimp. They take the head off, the rest is good. Preston, sorry. Hello. Good evening. I'll tell you what, Preston. We all need a Pizza Hut.
Oh, what?
Pizza Hut. You know? High five, Preston! That's it, man. High five! You love it. So do I. Karma time. Yeah, these are not how drugs make you feel, guys. It's me trying to be positive. Or is it? Fucking hell. Look, it's George. Alright, say hello. High five to the camera. 1, 2, 3. High five. Do it.
Dos míos.
Oh, okay.
We went for pre-drinks because the girl wasn't texting me back. And I'd already booked the hotel, so I was thinking, oh shit, like this is gonna go bad. So because of, I couldn't say because of that, but I started drinking quite a bit because I thought she wasn't coming. So me and Ollie just sat in the pub and had like quite a few beers. Yeah, and then she actually messaged me saying, like, I'm coming, I'm on my way, I've just been in work. So I was like, all right, cool. So then I made my way up to Stevenage. I don't want to start drinking the drinks before she gets there, but I do want to have a drink. So instead of getting a beer or two, I don't know, I bought fucking like a half bottle of vodka. And when I got back, like she started to not like answer the messages again. So I was thinking, oh shit, like I've been stood up. So I was just drinking the vodka. I drank it quite quick. And yeah, and then eventually she turned up and I don't know, I got from like fucking 10 in the morning, I was just drinking Cavassier. But this is what I mean, to a sensible person, you wouldn't think like, yeah, it's my first weekend out in ages where I have money, let's go with someone who I've met in rehab, like, for lack of a better word. One thing that was hurting was because I was going to see another woman Like, I was thinking about my ex. The whole time I was going up there, I was thinking about my ex. I was sitting there thinking, like, stop being a bitch, you know what I mean? She's moved on, you're in rehab, like, so go up and see this other girl, have a good night, have a nice time, do you know what I mean? The amount of time that's passed now, there's no way she hasn't had sex with someone else. It's just, maybe I'm wrong, but I know I'm not. And so it's like, but things like that wind me up and shit, so it's like, so I've almost booked this hotel out of spite to a girl who don't even realise she's in an argument with me, because it's all up here, do you know what I mean? And then I just wind myself up. I don't know, you feel like a pussy almost, like for feeling guilty, if that makes sense. Because it's like, I'm not with this girl anymore, so what am I feeling guilty about? So it's like, I hide behind this whole, yeah, I go out, I'm on it, I'm a lad, I fucking do this, I do that, like clubbing you. Whereas, to be honest, I didn't. I wanted to fucking message my ex and be like, listen, I'm getting a hotel, man, if you've got the weekend off, can we just sort this shit out? When I actually did want a family, it's like that was taken from me twice as well. And it was like the second time was terrible. Oh, fuck, I had to pick half it out of the toilet. But it's just like, that didn't push us away. Like, that made us closer, if anything. And then we, well, no, it's just from there, we kind of put a pause on the whole idea of a family, if that makes sense. And then, yeah. But I'm not a cold-hearted person, so instead of inviting a girl to the hotel last night and as soon as I'm done, yeah, fuck off, just drank more. Do you know what I mean? Just hide it with drink. It's easier to live with grief all the time than to fucking accept something or move on. Do you know what I mean? I don't really want to go to a rehab. It'd feel like a prison almost. Whereas in Amber, you've got a bit more freedom, they're a bit more lenient with you, but then maybe leniency don't work for certain people. It's my birthday soon.
How are you going to celebrate your birthday?
I might just fucking stay here, man.
Usually when you get baptised first, you're not going to get baptised again, but I got baptised last time whilst I was on drugs and whilst I was still like being a criminal, if you would be like. It was pretty sad because I did like ask loads of people to come and no one come. I was there by myself. But at the end I was like, well, I'm doing this for myself, so I don't care if I'm here by myself, you know what I mean? But it was a shame no one could come. But it's like that, you know what I mean? Going up and down, like emotions going everywhere. Like my mum tells me and everyone tells me just end it with her, but I'm like, how can you end it with someone when you're in love with them? Like, it's hard. If you actually love someone, even though they hurt you, you're still gonna make excuses up for them, aren't you? Like, I think it's a love-hate relationship. I love her and she hates me, you know?
You can jump on the window, like get the barrier.
I couldn't sleep frightened because down through the cold.
I feel good talking to this camera, you know. I feel like it's very therapeutic.
Do you feel like you're talking to me or the camera?
I feel like I'm talking to both of you. I feel like I'm talking to you, but I feel like at the same time, I'm talking to the camera.
Why the camera? Why do you like it?
Because it's just staring at me. It's got one big eye, which I love. And a microphone. It looks so fluffy. It's almost like a dog without no eyes or mouth. Or nose. I don't know what's going on in this mind of mine sometimes, Preston. I start to wonder, is it actually like an illness or is it just me completely like broken to bits through drugs? I don't know if it's normal, but when I used to get angry and upset at home, so like, I'd come out from school, something bad happened or whatever, I used to go into my room and on my own, I used to make myself like, do you know what I mean? I'd cry, headbutt the wall or whatever. And then obviously after all that happened, I never really used to go to my dad, do you know what I mean? Then after I started to use drugs and stuff, I used to continue doing the same. But it's strange because when I used to do the drugs, I used to do it with my mates. And I used to go back home and then leave all my depression in my room. And then come back out. And then I used to be like this, which was probably the calm down, making me, do you know what I mean, feel a bit... And I don't know what it is, mate, but like my eyes keep on popping out of my head, I keep on going crazy and blah, blah, blah. And I think that is just me trying to hide all the pain and the emotion that I go through. Like, all this energetic thing has been happening to me a long time. The doctors would tell me to take a drug, to take a pill or whatever, and I just mentally, I don't know why, but I've always thought, why would I want to rely on a pill to make me feel better? And this is coming from the bottom of my heart. I don't want to rely on a pill every morning to make me feel like myself. Oh, when I look at this, I'm just thinking, this is where I want to be. Right. I'm feeling so comfortable talking to this object, but yet such an honourable man behind it. It's just making me feel like, you know, I'm in something. Like if you know what, can you cut out some of the things that, you know, I've been doing? Like, do you know when I'm sitting here talking about nonsense and like acting really weird? Is that going to be in a documentary? Maybe?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably, maybe, yeah. Because that is who you are.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool. Thank you, baby. And thank you, Preston.
Mr.
Mate, seriously, whatever you tell me is in confidence. Like, I'm being honest with you, seriously.
I'm gonna have a look.
All the way around.
So you want it there?
Yeah, just shave them.
Right, master.
Put it in my pocket.
Have a seat.
Oh,
you dirty bastard.
Aye.
You dirty bastard. Turn your head 90 degrees.
Like this.
You ever go to Liverpool?
No, I haven't.
If you go to Liverpool, you sound like a scouse.
What's that
For the shit I do for you, Santos.
I know, I love you too bad.
Did you just say dad?
I said I love you too bad.
Oh, right. I thought you said dad.
Yes, the accent.
I was like, I ain't your fucking dad.
Nah, you're not.
I'd be a bit fucking surprised if you were. Cool, the back of your head's gonna be smooth as a baby's arse, so I've given you a little cut. It's the way it is, my brother. See how much nicer it is using my razor. Yeah, I used to do that with a lot of people. I used to do my own hair. So it's nice that I can just pass on a bit of something back to mates.
No, rename movie titles with Sesh.
National Sesh.
National Session.
Potter in the Chamber of Session.
Harry Potter in the Chamber of Session.
And she's staying in my tent for 3 weeks straight. Every single day she'd come out with me, I'd go shoplifting and do whatever I had to do. Then I'd come back and we'd go stay in the tent and get drunk and get on weed or whatever it was. And it was funny because after 3 weeks she went, "Would you like to come back to my flat?" And I was just like, "Wait, you're not homeless?" And she was like, No, I was
really enjoyed living in the tent.
I was homeless, but I was homeless for like 3 weeks. But I just, because I got to know the homeless people, I wanted to come down and spend some time with them. And then I really liked you, so I decided to stay in your tent.
Can I get in the bed, love?
Yeah, I was like, I haven't slept in a bed in 2 years. Do you mind if I jump in yours with you?
I'm drawing an eye right there.
Obviously, yesterday we were going to a fundraising event and my hair was too long and getting too messy. Jam your t-shirt.
I've still got a bit of jam.
I just made it for second red, so. Just.
I'll start waking everyone up first red now.
Paddy?
Yeah, don't wind him up, bro, because if that was me, bro, I wouldn't have ever given you words, I'll just put jam down in your head.
I'm just going to sort that out and then I'll get us up to
Morning, Lordy.
Well done for this today.
Thank you, mate. Bro, do not get loud and do not get... You're in the wrong, James. I'm talking to Preston and you're interrupting my conversation. Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! I've told you once. Get this motherfucker out of here. Get him out of here. I'm talking to Preston, yeah? He's interrupting. Tell him. I need to calm down. Tell him to get the fuck out of here. Motherfucker, fuck off. Shut the fuck up, you silly cunt. Get out of here. Right.
24-year-old man.
I'm 22, you silly cunt. Fuck off. I told you to fuck off. You don't want me to lose my shit. What's wrong with you? What do you mean, what is wrong with me? I'm trying to talk to...
Yeah, so have you come up here just
Yeah, man, because like, I was trying to talk, you know what I mean, trying to talk to you, like, and like, trying to talk to people about how I'm there and I'm here and I'm trying to sort my life out, do you know what I mean? I'm trying to get help. But when you got a 17-year-old or whoever it is just sitting there, do you know what I mean, interrupting you while you're trying to talk about some serious stuff, like about how you're feeling and stuff, especially when I'm trying to talk to you, like, no, I'm not going to sit there. I was sorry, like, can you just go away if you annoy me? That's what I said. He goes, no, I'm not going to go. And then that's what makes me switch, is when I know I'm in the right and I'm asking someone nicely with respect, and then they don't show me that respect back. Like, Connor's come up here, I was like, are you upset? He goes, yeah. I go, do you want to talk about it? He goes, no. I respect that. But really deep down, I like banter, but I don't like too much banter, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I did before when I was younger, but I need to become serious. I can't have banter 24/7, mate. It can't be continuous banter because it just fills your head with shit. I've got such a good character and I've got such a good thing about me hiding how I feel, right? Until I'm now talking to you because I want to help people that feel the same as me. But I think that me letting what I've let out through the camera with you has helped me enormously because I have not done it. You're like a counsellor to me, do you know what I mean? My therapist. That's how you're coming across to me at the moment because you come here, you're with your camera, but do you know what? You're calm. You know what I mean? I don't really know you, which is quite weird that I could just let it all out, but don't really know you. But it's calming. Like where you're here and you gave me that contract, right? Where I've had to sign it and whatever, and I'm here talking to you. You seem to be understanding, and I could say this. I could speak to Connor. He'd be understanding. I want to be able to take care of everything myself. I think that's what it is. I want to be able to just do it all on myself. Because although their friend might be there for me to talk to, he ain't gonna be there all my life. All these feelings, like growing up and stuff, not having sort of like an understanding why things happen because you've always sort of been like blocked up with your feelings and like your emotions. I think it's really hard, and that's who I've been. I just have not been the person that sits there and talks about my problems all the time. I'm just confused to why things have happened to me, and I'm confused to why I can't talk, or maybe I'm confused to why I can talk some of them, can't talk all of them. I just don't know.
Do you think people are going to be quite sad that you're leaving?
I think certain members of my group I've built up like a good rapport with in quite a short space. It's difficult, change is difficult for these guys sometimes because they kind of become used to your style of working and that's difficult. But we should see. Sure they'll move on.
Your pride and everything starts to go out the window.
Yeah,
like, my pride for my family stayed constantly. Like, I would never tell my family I was homeless. They know now. Yeah. Because I went to prison 4 times. Yeah. They were like, why did you go to prison? I was stealing. Well, what have you been in prison for? Well, I stole a DVD, some milk, and some girls' underwear. Why were you stealing that? I have no idea.
I would love to tell you.
So yeah, we're all camping out in the allotment and I'm just going to stay in the bivvy. It's preparing for 2 weeks when I leave and become homeless again. No, I've got Transform Housing tomorrow. They're like another supported housing group, but they're like people on probation and stuff like that. They take them on and it's like £8 a week rent. And you just live in a flat and it's just to help you out.
That's on your action plan regardless. You need to be going back to AA appointments regularly.
Yeah, but the 12 steps ain't going to pay my rent. Do you know what I mean? It's like... Well, not like that because I don't pay rent, I claim.
But if you don't deal with your drinking and that becomes an issue again, you're not going to get help with anything. You are going to be right back at square one.
It's demoralising a little bit because you sit there and there are other people who don't have the same issues that you do, but that are your age and are doing twice as good as you.
What you need to decide is what is the most important thing to you right now.
I want to work.
So move on, you're going to need some assistance.
Definitely.
Okay, fine. Lovely.
We sat in a park, me, my mate, girl mate. Some guy ran and grabbed this person first. I then started chasing after him. We got into the town centre. When we got into the town centre, I kind of beat him up quite badly. But because he called police, like I got done for ABH for an intent. They gave me for that 170 hours to complete your service. If you do most of your hours and have been good at amber, we'll dismiss everything I've done. You know what I mean? All the crime I've committed. So it's going to be good being a free man. Can't wait.
Ran away back home and I ended it with my other half. That wasn't really good. Kind of hurting, but you know what, life goes on. So obviously I'm still down from that, and then someone chose to start shouting at me, so I ended up recalling him. Next thing you know, he started offering me out and all that, and I got really angry, so I just ended the call and just punched something, didn't I? The next thing to me was a wall. Don't know how to relieve anger, I struggle with it. So I thought, in this week, I was painting a picture in my head whilst I'm making this piano piece up, and I thought, you know what, I want a little nest in there, innit, with a little baby, with chicks in there, if you know what I mean. And so part of my song includes the little chicks calling out to its mother, and the mother bird answering the chick, if you know what I mean. So.
Amber has helped me take a breather.
The way I think, if you know what I mean.
I've learned more about how different routes can lead to the same place.
If I weren't at Amber, I'll be on the streets or in jail probably.
Probably still be in a tent somewhere, smoking, drugs, drinking.
Getting pissed, smoking weed, taking drugs.
90% sure I'd be in prison.
Severely withdrawing from alcohol. Asking people to borrow a fiver.
I just want to be a stereotypical man.
You know, has got a lot more patience.
I want to be that person that everyone knows and loves just for being me.
Something that they will never understand is the way I choose to tackle my problems, or the way I chose to tackle my problems.
They'll never know what's going through my head, and to be honest, neither will I.
Why I've asked to go to prison, and why I shoplifted, and why I wrote a book.
How John became, you know, the person he is today.
If they're wrong, let me make them decisions, but if they're right, support me with them.
Try not to judge.
Just, you know, maybe give me a pat on the back and say, you know what, bud, you're doing all right. Sometimes that's all it takes.
I think we need to help the next generation of young men understand that they need to understand themselves.
Actually go up to them and ask them if they need help, not just judge them because they're doing drugs.
There's a huge part missing, and I reckon it could all come down to discipline.
Having the talks with George and with you, normally I'd just laugh everything off. And now I know some people don't need that. We need to have a serious conversation every so often.
Just having someone, even though you've got a camera, and just it could be someone else entirely, just without one. I feel like I can actually express how I'm feeling.
Maybe I've made the mistake for them.
In many ways I can't, because you know you've got to read the person before you can approach them and have that comfort.
That's why I was homeless for 5 years, is because I didn't have the pride to tell anyone. Let others help me.
Be who you are, and if you're given the chance, grasp it.
Try to talk to your parents, try to talk to your mates. Do you know what I mean? Try to let it out, don't bottle it up, because you end up like me.
Just keep on going. There's someone in the world that loves you.
Try and count to 10 if you can, and you'll see your life vastly improve. Because if you react out of emotion, most of the people going through stuff's emotion is anger. You end up on the streets, you end up this, you end up with nothing. And it's really not worth it. Life's beautiful.
Yeah, well, it's a beautiful camera, isn't it? I mean, it's got a nice grey hair, like, you know, like Mr. Grey from the 50 Shades of Grey, eh? I'm going to miss it, yeah, extremely loads. I'm going to miss you. You know what I mean? I seem to talk to you quite well as well. You're pretty good at therapy, man. You should be a therapist. Yeah. It's crazy good, man. It's been a good journey.
Yeah. Cheers,
yeah. No, thank you. Thank you.